Hi, I'm Lyle from Dragon's Zeta Name, and welcome back to the Outer Worlds. I did...
Back for a rest? Space adventuring is tiring work.
Thank you, Ada, for looking out for me. What I was saying, I was doing a little bit off camera, especially since I saw that when I went to Scylla, I didn't do the one mission I had on Scylla. I did that off camera and found Captain Irian, who was apparently a someone that Ellie knew. There wasn't a lot to that, just some funny retorts made, and that was the mission for the one Doctor on Groundbreaker, which is where we are still right now. And yeah, that wasn't such a grand mission, so I didn't record it. I might start doing that a little more and concentrating on the main story for this game in particular, because I feel like there are a lot of side missions and a lot of bounty quests and stuff, and I don't think that it's all that interesting watching me do all of that. If you disagree, please let me know in the comments if you want to see more, but for now I will probably stick to the main missions, or maybe the companion quests I will do still on camera, but for other side missions and especially the bounties, I think I will do them off camera and, so this can progress a little faster. And with that being said, let's go to Monarch, because we finally got the nav key for that in the last episode. Yeah, warning dangerous. Well, let's go to Stellar Bay landing pad first, because that doesn't seem to be that dangerous. Oh yeah, I also got...
Captain, an unusual wavelength is coming through Monarch's aether wave frequencies.
The eternal is in us all.
Oh wow.
The OSI would have you believe that your place in society, indeed in the universe, is preordained. A man who works in the mines of Hephaestus, coating his lungs in mercury dust for not but a few bits a night. This fate is set in stone? When he dies young, coughing up black blood, his part in the grand plan? No, I say. Greatness is in everyone. Not just those so fortunate as to have been born into prosperity.
That was unexpected and odd.
Yes, both of those things sounded like a bunch of nonsense. What was that? Seemed interesting. I'd like to hear more. No, what was that?
Analyzing the subtextual ordering. I believe it was a type of sermon, Captain. Very zealous in origin.
Isn't it always? Thank you. What I was saying was, I got the other science weapon from Groundbreaker because I finally figured out how to get there. There was this secret, I guess, passage in the crew quarters that I saw while editing the last episode, and so I went and got that too. Now I have 3 science weapons. 2 of them, unfortunately, being melee weapons, so I can't do much with them. So who do we take? Max and Felix, because they like each other so much? Think that's it. So, Stellar Bay. What was that? What was that noise? I did not like that. Let's see if we can grab something here first. Does not really look like it. But I'm living off of scrap, basically. Okay, there's nothing here, so let's go down. Oh, but there's a terminal. What can we learn? Nothing. Awesome. Take us down. Ooh. So there is a whole city here, I guess?
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in.
You have an eye patch.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
Yes, I am. Whatever, I'm not here for chit-chat. You seem surprised. Well, that is my ship on the landing pad right next to you.
I knew it. See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
Well, not me. What are they doing out there? Takes more than a few gunships to scare me.
You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic. Us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes.
Uh-oh.
On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna and halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Thank you. Captain Lyle. Me, I'm Alex Hawthorne. I prefer to travel discreetly if you know what I mean. Well, I think the ship still says Alex Hawthorne, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code.
Thank you.
I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
Oh, is Stellar Bay really that isolated? You're not what I expected to find on Monarch.
Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Did he just say raptidons and cannibals? I can't wait.
Felix excited at least. Right, are you saying the board's been lying about this place? It seems like that.
Oh, sure. It makes Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell.
Ah, the nostalgic stench of home. Can't say I miss the day-to-day of living in Edgewater.
Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though.
Alright, are you really that isolated?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
Oh no! I'm gonna have a look around. Thank you,
Mr. Sandra, I'll be
Grim.
mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you?
I will.
Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor?
What do you want?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tosswell poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
I will. Sure, I can ask about your poster. Who's the Black Hole? This poster sounds pretty valuable. Who is the Black Hole?
Boss, come on. Black Hole Birdie, the Holemeister, the Hack Attack.
That's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest tossball hackers ever. Everyone's heard of him.
I just got out
even
of
on Monarch.
cryo
You still get
sleep.
some of the games.
Give me some
You're
cut me
living
some
in a
slack.
sulfur pit or something?
Whatever, I don't really care. Actually, I've been in hibernation for decades. Exactly.
Oh, you're real funny. Guess I don't feel so bad for missing what goes on in the rest of Stellar Bay.
I'm not being funny. Fine, I can ask
Thanks
about
a
your
bunch.
poster.
Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Alright, let's have a look around. Few vending machines, like always. You're just a worker. More soldiers. And you have cool armor though. And what is this? Alright. I'm not gonna take it. I've stolen enough accidentally already. Oh, you are my contact.
And the little bastard's slippery.
I
right?
love your
on account of its
purple
blood.
hair.
So it's sliding all over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud.
Keep listening, yes.
But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you?
How do you know that? Who are you? I'm Lyle. Pleasure to meet you. Why are you always this drunk? Hi.
Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you?
Sure, another round, bartender. I'll stay and chat, but you look like you've had enough. I'm told you can get me to an information broker. I think you've had enough.
Another in a long line of damn fools trying to cut me off. I'll buy my own poison then. What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger?
I'm looking for you, actually. Vacation. Yes, I'm here on vacation. No, I'm told you can help me find an information broker.
Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business.
Yes, please.
I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You'll have to get me something to clear my head.
Do I have something? Sure, what do you need? I'm not in the mood to fetch things. How much do you need? How much time do you need? I don't need an escort. Yes, I do need an escort.
Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're
What do you...
very
you
good.
drugs?
I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set.
Okay, and if I can't get a steroid or caffeine something or other? Steroid or caffeine somethings you don't even know what you're taking? Medical 25, you mean caffeinoid. That stuff's just a stimulant.
Well,
Let's lose
they
my
work.
brains!
We got a deal or what?
Alright. Because I do want a guide. He said it would be... Well, Phineas said that it would do me very good. Maguire!
Well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar
the
Bay.
mustache is
First drink's on me,
perfection.
stranger.
Thank you.
Enjoy. If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
And let me see what you have. How well do you know Nyoka? You said you are not used to seeing new faces around here. Why is this place called the Yacht Club? Well, let's just ask him.
Anyone who spends any amount of
Some
time in
things-
this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka. On account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you?
You said you're not used to seeing new faces.
Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the Iconoclasts or some such.
Who are they? What happened to Amber Heights? What is this?
Bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled out of Monarch not long after. I thought everyone knew. But then that was 10 years ago. Still feels fresh to us every time we look at our walls, though.
Well, I wasn't really around for that. What is this? Ooh, a history. Okay, I did not know that existed until now.
Thought it had a fancy ring to it.
It does.
Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all.
Are there any yachts in Stellar Bay? Then you might think about fixing up that sad-looking sign outside. I'm not gonna be mean.
Nope. But a man can dream.
They can. Thank you. That was a little bit creepy, Felix. Just saying. Another vending machine. How much money do I have? I don't think I have a lot right now. 1,700. Because I bought a lot of the wrong fucking ammo the last time. Because I need heavy ammo for my rifle. And I bought A lot of light ammo. Now that I have some, I can... Yes, please. Give me some. I love these jingles. Oh, can I read this? Nyoka Bartok bingo sheet. That's awesome. Several phrases have been marked off. Right between the eyes. There were 3, no 4 of them. That rat was this big. Took it down with 1 shot. Buy me a drink. I love that. That's awesome. That's just another... Ooh, can I take this? No. Not gonna steal anything. Can I play on here? No, I can't. Hi, you're just a resident. Also just a resident. Auto-loader operator. You have a name. Do you have something to say?
New face, huh? You from Off-World?
Nice glasses, dude. Yep, I'm Captain Lie of the Unreliable. No, I'm Captain Hawthorne.
A ship captain? Well, I'll be.
Oh,
Here,
thank you.
let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell and revel with us?
Sure, what are you celebrating?
Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares.
Whatever the heck that means.
As long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking.
Alright, what are you working, though? What could be so bad it made you walk off the job? Won't you get in trouble for that? Good luck with that, sorry. What could be so bad?
It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor Velma goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work.
Good on you.
We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay.
Do that. I happen to be pretty good with negotiations, that is true.
I wouldn't doubt it. You look like the type who tends to come out on top. Not like us cogs, trying to be the squeaky wheel but just getting deadlocked. It's been days, but Velma won't even hear us out. Maybe you could just make her listen to our demands.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll mediate on your behalf.
You would do that?
Yes.
We sure are lucky you decided to come up to the patio today. I knew drinking up here would be good for more than the view.
True. Thank you.
It'll be good to get some steady pay again.
Why do you keep doing that, Felix? Does Max do that too? Yes, he does. I want all of that. But I can't because I'm an honest person. Monarch! This is big! Oh wow, I just saw one street. This is big, I like it. The outsides and stuff I think are really, really cool. And the bright colors and everything, I really like this game. It's, I think, the favorite one I'm playing right now. Hi! Can I go in there?
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
Ah, it's him.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
The governor or whatever of this. Am I in Fallbrook? Is this for... No, this is Stellar Bay. Right, right, right. Makes sense. I haven't found Fallbrook yet, apparently. This is just... Is this? So that would be going outside then, I guess. Leaving the walls. Hi, executive.
If you leave town, watch out for iconoclasts. They're almost as bad as the Raps.
Don't know what both of these are. Notes for revisions. Your report looks excellent. The numbers are front and center and you highlight our recent production gains nicely. One small adjustment, could you increase the page margins by 17.3%? I want them to match the formatting of our other reports for maximum readability. Sanja. So he's one for numbers, I guess is what I'm supposed to get from that. Let's use the terminal. This terminal is only to be used for official communication on behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries. View data. Data. A summary report on conditions within Stellar Bay. Productivity has continued to improve since relaxing MSI's old restrictions and making allowances for employee benefits such as time off for illness and personal leave, 24.9% reductions in shift length, and 52.3% more positive feedback. That's cool. Fishery output is up 15.2% this year, showing a continuing but slowing growth trend. Decreased gains compared to previous years are likely due to the deterioration of materials and morale, occasional shortfalls in our supplies, and the gradual loss of personnel to marauders, 7.2%. Hostile wildlife, 10.3%, and iconoclast recruitment, 17.4%. So they're losing people to violence and these religious zealots, I guess. Reconciliation with the board remains a long-term goal, but the immediate concern is defending the city from hostile elements. Repairing damage to the city walls consumes approximately 32.8% of our annual budget. The best solution would be an influx of skilled defenders and weaponry, but given the aforementioned factors and their effects on the local population, such a solution remains unlikely. Working slogans. Oh wow. MSI, our profit margins are stellar. MSI Soltuna, 43.28% more nutrient dense than leading brands. Stellar Bay, a tolerable center of commerce in a hostile and chaotic galaxy. Could use some work. All of those. So, Senja.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
What?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
Okay, so you are desperate for newcomers then. That's very generous of you. No, you have a meeting with me.
Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Oh, wow.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself?
None of those, I'm afraid. I'm just looking for the information broker. Me, I'm charting my own path, going where the wind takes me.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
No, I'm sorry. Hey, it could always be both. Afraid not. If I have to eat one more weird science project passed off as food in this bread-fucked colony, I am going to stab someone. Could always be both.
Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
No.
I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
He likes his flowery speech. And percentiles. What exactly are you hoping to accomplish? If you're free of the other corporations, why would you want to bring them back? Exactly, because you probably can't sell.
Because he's scared to go it alone. You need the board to hold your hand and tell you everything's gonna be okay. Ain't that right?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
I believe you, and you're tired of scrounging and scraping by. Is that it? Sounds like you're freer than anyone else in Halcyon. Why not embrace it? Yeah, why not?
You talk like Graham.
Can't imagine why you'd sneer at the notion of a free colony. Could it be because you're an agent of the establishment?
I used to be young and idealistic too, but you can't run a city on high-minded ideals.
Very true, unfortunately.
Exactly. Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged from practicality.
Yeah.
Sounds like something out of the chairman's own notes, Vic.
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very words from my brain.
You make a good point, so what do you mean to do about it? That's a coward's answer. What do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
She's wrinkling her nose.
On our terms, mind you.
Are you out of your mind? You can't just go crawling back to your old masters.
Well, we can't continue to subsist like this either.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
Yes, please. This lady knows what's going on. Enough preamble, what's the plan? This lady knows what's going on.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Fine, but how do you mean to do that? How long did it take you to figure out that you need to defend your city?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
This Bolt 52 sounds useful. What is it? Where do I find one?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
I was starting to get bored listening to you until you said the phrase extremely powerful ordnance.
It is quite the rush.
Intelligence, ordnance or ordnance? Where do I find one once you have the Bolt 52? What's the other part of your plan?
An ordinance, of course. We do things in a civilized fashion here, not like Graham's iconoclasts.
Of course he wants to fight bureaucracy with paperwork. I should have known.
Can a legal document really be that important? So where do I find this ordinance? Once you have the boat... I read that already. Can a legal document... Yeah, it can be. Of course it can be. Where do I find this ordinance?
In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. These days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Perception. Why are you saying it that way?
Saying what? Which way?
Arms. You're saying arms instead of arms. What?
That's just what it's called. It's supposed to stand for something, but I forget what.
I'm sure I'll know it when I find it.
Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
What the hell does that mean? What does that mean?
What can I do for you?
I have questions about MSI and the good old days. I met Grim on the landing pad guard.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
Yes, it was very good. He did a bang-up job. That guy is a world-class moron.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
I have questions.
Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes.
Oh god. How did MSI get kicked off the board in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times. especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Do you mean that you initiated your own removal from the board? You're getting ahead of yourself again? This is why you can't trust corporations and their so-called laws.
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra 1.
What happened to the other corporations? Terra 1 and Terra 2? I see the board put their best people on that one.
Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
That seems wise. It kinda does. But not MSI, right? No guts, no glory.
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to.
And how did that work out?
Most regard Monarch as a lost cause. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
How forward-thinking of you. Reforms are for quitters, Sandra.
It's humane. But it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
Exactly.
Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
I take it your leadership didn't embrace your ideas. Using the board's own tools against them. Clever. Who is this us and we you keep talking about? Using the rules against them.
That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
Yet you are here. I hope you gave them the finger. Guess you missed the transport.
Yes. Some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
That's low, even for them. It really is. But why would they do that? You should have known you couldn't oppose them. Yeah, why would they do that?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws.
Your first mistake was expecting the board to cut you a fair deal.
Yeah.
I understand the sentiment, but if we can't rely on some sort of framework, then what do we have? I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Yeah, me too. Why exactly do you want back on the board? What's the hazard clause?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Yeah, and once you go back to him, they'll own your dignity too.
Yeah.
Without the board, chaos would overtake the system. Working within the established order isn't a principle to snub one's nose at, Captain.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
That's fucked. They've treated you pretty roughly. Is it worth going back to that? I can't fault you for your practicality. Seems to me anything's better than the corporate yoke.
I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue.
Yeah, that's probably wise.
Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
That would be ideal. Leverage. Leverage? Good for you. Force them to the bargaining table. Yeah, that's probably the only way to deal with them. Just be careful the board doesn't mess around. What leverage?
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes. It'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52.
Fine.
My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
I think it's really neat that everywhere I go, I can kind of influence what is happening there. That was the same with Edgewater, and I should go back, actually, at some point and see if something has changed there. What's the hazard clause?
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
A necessary evil for the greater good of society.
That's exactly how the board describes it.
But not really what it is, right? And they've invoked it on Monarch. You sound skeptical. Seems like a sensible restriction, actually.
Monarch may be dangerous, but it's hardly the wasteland the board describes it to be.
Well, Scylla's dangerous too.
Whatever the board's goals, the greater good has little part in them.
They have loose primates. You don't seem to think much of Graham.
He and his followers call themselves the Iconoclasts. Lawless anarchists, all of them. If anyone on Monarch deserves the reputation the board's pinned on us, it's them.
I will admit, I am keen to meet their leader.
Well, be careful what you wish for. Graham has a habit of ruining everything, and everyone around him.
They sound pretty bad. You've got strong feelings on the matter. Maybe you should give them a chance.
I'm trying to build something here. They only want to destroy things, and they risk ruining Monarch for all of us. It isn't just that they drain our people and resources. Every radical act they commit cements Halcyon's image of us all as destructive rebels, and pushes us further from the rest of the colony.
So, what's the downside?
Shall I begin with the supply shortages, or the subtle but constant threat of annihilation?
He's lucky the board doesn't take him seriously enough to keep more than a few UDL gunships patrolling Monarch.
An Earth Directorate assault cruiser would change his tune. It's almost a shame we haven't seen one around Monarch in a long while.
Hey, what?
What can I do for you?
I'm gonna go. Somebody told me to go to her. Who was
Greetings,
that?
and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries.
Hello.
Producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon.
That's
what
what
can
they
I do
all
for
say.
you today?
What was that exchange about? You having money trouble? Grim asked me to check with you about his Tospo pose. Right, that was it.
You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grim wore her patience thin a long time ago.
I'm pretty charming. Earlier I overheard you say you were having money trouble.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
Why? Do you normally blow your money on Raptidon parts?
Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really.
Why? Why are you buying so much from Sebastian? Do you like him? If you've got that many bits to spend, then I've got some trash to sell you.
So I can talk to him, of course.
Okay, so you like
He doesn't get going about much else. Sort of the strong, silent type.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
Maybe I can talk to him for you. Just ask him on a date.
I couldn't. What if he says no? Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as embarrassing if you ask. Oh,
okay.
Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Wait, I'm curious. What do you see in Sebastian?
He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about.
So is he super dumb?
Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises.
Oh, wow. You really want to be with someone you can't talk to. There are other fish in the sea, Celia.
You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny.
I'm trying
Not
to
in
help
Stellar
you
Bay.
here.
Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like Saltuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good smile and a proportionate upper to lower body ratio isn't something to pass up.
Alright, okay.
Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
It's fine. Bye. So, where is my waypoint? Back there. That's where I'm gonna go now. Stellar Bay, is
Velma
this
seen
the
out of sorts
warehouse?
to you?
She's always cranky.
No, I mean more than usual.
Wouldn't know. I made it a point to stay out of her way.
Braxton, the fish and tank 23A are looking a little lumpy. If you're not going to make it in, that's fine, but you have to let me know so I can stay on top of the doses. Mr. Nandi, we really need to talk about the Saltuna situation. I've had to let 4 batches rot in the warehouse over the last 2 months because we're not finding buyers. Yeah, that's what I thought. I know the situation with the board puts us in a tough spot, but we need to start thinking about how we're going to keep Stellar Bay afloat if we can't get sales up. Yeah. Brax, seriously, where are you? You've missed 3 shifts. This is getting ridiculous, even for you. Why can't I read today? What's wrong with me?
Please, will someone help me? My boy's in trouble. Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
What? Your child is missing? Where'd you last see him?
Oh, I just knew you were a good person. Agnes, I said, this is the woman to save your little Tucky. And I was right.
Is he like a grown-ass
He ran out
man?
into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the raptidons, mantisaurs, and marauders, the toxic sulfur pools, and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen. Please, won't you go and find my boy?
Alright, I'll help you find your son. Why would Tucker run away?
He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have
Calm
listened
down,
to
lady.
his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe here with me.
I'll help you. Where would he have gone? Yeah.
He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boy's run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a manta queen hasn't spooled out and eaten his entrails for breakfast already.
So he's gonna be fine. What were you saying about the iconoclasts? Where is Amber Heights?
Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting. Like it's noble to risk it all out there, fighting for the greater good.
Not sure I'm seeing the problem here.
You're one of them, aren't you? You should be ashamed of yourself, young man. Just as your mama would be.
Wow.
How noble
Hey.
is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. But still they preach their sermons of anarchy and rebellion to anyone who'll listen. If they weren't holed up in Amber Heights, I'd knock them all upside the head.
Where is Amber Heights?
That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse, the thought of my son shacking up with the nutty iconoclasts. Or that he never made it. Sprats could be nesting in his rotting body alongside the road as we speak.
I think I see why he may have wanted to leave.
Got him, pulled all his teeth out, crushed him into their drugs and made him snort them. Oh, the things that could happen to my sweet baby.
I'll help you find your son.
Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Okay, there was a guy screaming that there had been a murder. Where is that guy? There. I guess.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Are you alright?
No! I just stepped in a dead man's blood. And I think one of the flies landed on my mouth. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. That's where the body is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go contemplate a hot shower.
So did you kill him or something? To the lower right. Oh wow.
A murder? Hey, is this the part where we go hunting for clues?
Sure.
What a gruesome way to die.
I can still only steal stuff, and I don't want to do that! What is this? Tossball betting slip. This betting slip lists some increasingly bold wagers made for a team called Mostly Colonists. It's from Left Field Tossball Betting. So I guess that's the clue I have. Oh, bag. Hastily packed suitcase. Several ragged outfits, all of the same cut and color, were stuffed into the suitcase. Okay, so I guess I found all the clues in here. And then I will have to go find that thing. But now I want to get those pills. So Nyoka can be something like sober. There.
Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in Raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails?
Not really.
You look like a woman who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts.
Not really. What would I want any of
I don't
that?
know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe I was onto something.
That's because she likes you. That's because she likes you, you dummy! Mr. Pickett.
Nice of you to say. I like her too.
She's interested in you. Romantically.
Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this so she could get a discount, hmm? Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice and slow, so I understand. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for Raptidon tongues.
She doesn't want a discount. She's attracted to you. Persuade. Don't take my word for it. Spend some time with her. I promise she won't ask for a discount. Yes.
You sound pretty sure. And she is awful nice. Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice. Maybe to Chef Raymond's.
Alright, but you don't have what I want either.
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick up her own caffeinoid.
Don't be so hard on her. With Brax missing, she's working doubles and needs a little edge.
Very well, dearie. But you stop by any time you like, hmm?
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind.
Hi.
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember.
You are weird.
What can Auntie Abigail do for you?
I've been asked to pick up a caffeinoid supplement. Who's Velma? Are you in charge of handing out medicine? Who's Velma?
She works over at the fishery next door. Quite the hard worker, but she's got a bit of a temper.
A temper?
Why, just the other day, I heard her shouting from here. I can't imagine what set her off. Oh, but here I go again, running my mouth when it's none of my business. Was there something else you needed?
Yes, the pills, please.
And what a helpful young lady you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits. Who's your lucky friend, dearie?
Lie, actually the pills are for me. It's for Nyoka, I don't know, Auntie. You'll have to pry that secret from my sweet little cheeks. I'm gonna lie.
I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclast
Goddamn.
and the marauder filth chasing away what little trade we get, I'm afraid I have to reserve my supply for Stellar Bay residents. Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it a shame what some people will do to get a little extra?
Can I persuade you or something? You can't trust people these days. Oh, that sounds awful. You don't give 5-finger discounts, Auntie.
Isn't it just? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there anyone else needing a special pickup from Auntie Abigail?
Okay, Nyoka.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry.
No, you really don't. I believe you. There must be some way I can increase Nyoka's allotment. When can Nyoka get her next dose? Doesn't anyone else on Monarch have caffeinoid?
I'm afraid not. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them.
Persuade? I thought you were in charge around here, Auntie. You sure ought to be. Where can I find this Dr. Williams? Intimidate? What is this? Is this a companion thing, maybe? Enough sweet talk, get me caffeinoid, or you're gonna need a taste of your own medicine. No.
Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his.
Forgetful fellow, eh?
Experimentation with medicinal substances does take its toll, eventually.
Where can I find this Dr. Williams?
In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the flower of enlightenment. On the way, he tried some rather daring substance combinations.
Flower of enlightenment.
It's a philosophist symbol of some kind, dearie. Never you mind. The graveyard's near the southern ruins. You're certainly welcome to pay our respects, but the bodies tend to attract beasties.
You're gonna go tussle with some raptidons? Because I've been practicing my dropkick.
Do be careful. I'd hate for anything to happen to you, dearie.
Yes, I'm gonna figure this
Chin
out.
up, dearie.
She said upstairs. So maybe I can go there? Don't want to steal from the dispensary if I can avoid it. Maybe I can hack this terminal? This terminal's use is restricted to authorized medical engineers. Unauthorized use will warrant action from your site safety engineer. Employee login. Please enter your assigned login credentials. If you've forgotten your assigned login credentials, please report to your supervisor for reassignment. I can hack. So that's what I'm gonna do. Patient records. Lyle? Nyoka. Medical engineer notes, liver damage, likely the result of prolonged alcoholism, attitude problems, likely the result of prolonged alcoholism, frequent social withdrawal, likely the result of prolonged alcoholism, increase caffeinoid allotment. Allotment increased to high. Warning. Excessive caffeinoid consumption may lead to side effects such as irritability, fatigue, uncontrollable bowel movements, nausea, death. Warning, caffeinoid storage is approaching critical levels. Resupply recommended. Data storage. Notes from experiments as conducted by Dr. E. Williams. Reactivism and pep you up. I had hypothesized that this combination might awaken my mind and senses to the greater realities around us. If that is true, then it seems my faculties were quite overwhelmed in this instance. Shortly after the dosage, I experienced cold sweats, tremors, and mild paranoia. It is perhaps due to these lesser effects that most of my notes from the episode are of little use. Nevertheless, the effects were most invigorating. I will have to attempt a milder dosage once heart palpitations stop. Bushberry extract and dibilateral. After my previous experiments, I theorized that deadening the external senses might allow the mind's eye to glimpse the eternal. Alas, I was only partially successful. The combination of substances quickly rendered me both blind and feeble, so much so that I soon fell into a stupor. I awoke some hours later in a pile of my own sick and the most curious craving for Telluritos? Tolerine and triple dosage. Searching file empty. Oh, so he died on that. Stella Bride. She's a wide-eyed colonist from Earth. He's a hard-working Saltuna farmer from Monarch. Their attraction blossoms into a whirlwind romance that transforms Stella Bay. Chapter 3. A long way from Arkansas. You can put your things here, Mr. Elliot said, leading Abby into a dim apartment. The place was small, but it had a certain cozy charm. Abby set her bags on the floor and loosened the straps of her jumpsuit. Mr. Elliot coughed, his face suddenly red. If you get warm, you can always crack the window. Breeze from the bay is real nice. Just be careful about Mentis swarms. As Abby went to take the room key, her fingers brushed his. He had strong, rough hands, Saltuna farmer's hands. She felt herself blush. You've been ever so kind to me, Mr. Elliot. Call me Archibald, he said. So she writes romance novels. The Passion Broker. A renegade iconoclast driven by his ideals finds love in the arms of a mysterious man with a tortured past. Will he follow his head or his heart? Chapter 2. Tall, dark, and handsome. Oh my god. Come on up, said the voice on the comm. It was dangerous and smooth in a way that reminded Broderick of iceberg-aged whiskey. The door slid open with a whisper of perfumed air. The hair rose along the nape of his neck, and he proceeded up the stairs. The broker sat with his back to a top-of-the-line, mostly charcoal personal heater, slender fingers tented. So this was the mysterious recluse who manipulated Monarch from afar. Broderick could feel the warmth of the heater from across the room, but it was the look on the broker's eyes that had him feeling feverish. The broker produced a pair of glasses and a bottle of something that looked expensive. He poured it off and held one of the glasses out to Broderick. For me? He asked, trying to ignore the man's smoldering gaze. Indeed, the broker purred. I hear you're a man of bold tastes. Broderick took his glass. The broker continued, dark hair falling over darker eyes. That's why I've got a rare proposition for you. The glass nearly slipped from Broderick's fingers. He drank it in one gulp to hide the tremor in his hand. It burned all the way down. Okay, so these are just romance things that she writes. Alright, give me the pills.
Hello again, dearie. What can I get you?
I'm picking up caffeinoid for Nyoka Ramnarim Wentworth III. What?
Now that can't be. Ms. Ramnarim Wentworth has already exceeded the month's... Oh. Dear me. She does have another dose in her allotment. How did I miss this?
I do not know. Don't worry about it, Auntie. I'm sure you've been busy.
My, but you are a doll.
Aren't I?
Here's Nyoka's caffeinoid, and if I know her, she's probably ready for it by now.
I hope so.
Do take care of yourself, dearie.
I will. Thank you. Before we give this to Nyoka, because this episode is getting quite long, I will end it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do, why not comment, like, subscribe. I cannot talk today. And all of that good stuff. I love you all. Bye-bye!